Hello and welcome. My name is Nate from Video Games Recon, and as per usual we're going to be recapping this week's popular culture and gaming news that I find interesting and think you will too. Please keep in mind this video was recorded either early Friday evening or Saturday morning on UK time, so some important news could be missing and that this video will be posted most likely on a Saturday or Sunday. Anywho, enough jibber jabber, without any further ado, let's do it to it. Okay, so first off, let's kick this video off with a little TV and movie news, although it's mostly Netflix news, but anywho, I digress. The upcoming new Star Trek TV show will be on Netflix within 24 hours of its initial airing in the US, in most territories except for the US and Canada, where it will be available via CBS Access and Bell Media respectively. Personally, I think this is a very clever idea overall, as although maybe they could have made more money in certain territories by opening up the show for a bidding war, having it launched simultaneously in all territories within 24 hours not only ensures that some regions don't miss out, which is often the case, but it also has the ability to create those water cooler moments both in real life and on social media, which could reinvigorate mainstream interest in a Star Trek TV show that seemed to be lacking last time around. And speaking of Netflix, both it and Marvel have come out swinging this past week, with confirmation of a season 3 of Daredevil and teasers for Luke Cage, Iron Fist and The Defenders. Personally, I enjoyed all the Marvel stuff on Netflix, even if not blown away by it. Out of all this news, the thing I find most intriguing is the Iron Fist trailer and finding out what this guy's all about, as a new season of Daredevil is practically a given. I've already seen Luke Cage in action, and like I said, I'll probably enjoy it, but it's not likely to wow me. And with the Defenders stuff, there's barely anything to go off in that teaser. Personally, the thing I'm most hyped for is the Punisher standalone show, as for me he was the best thing about season 2 of Daredevil. And it's a shame he won't be featuring in the Defenders. Perhaps it's not canon and that's why they didn't want to put him in, or they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. Not that it's ever stopped them before. Legendary Entertainment is said to be fast-tracking a live-action Detective Pikachu film for production in 2017, presumably thanks in part to the success of Pokemon Go. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but a live-action film? Don't get me wrong, it sounds cool, and something we've all wanted to see since the late 90s, and the Detective Pikachu angle sounds cute and fun. I could easily see this work as a CG film, a la Toy Story or Shrek, but a live-action Pokemon film needs to be handled with care, as there are so many moving parts that could make this film fall flat, and end up like an Alvin and the Chipmunks or Garfield film. All I'm saying is, take your time and don't rush it just because Pokemon Go is killing it right now. Who knows what the buzz around this game will be come 2017-2018. And sadly, our last piece of TV and movie news is that President of Worldwide Distribution at Sony has been reported as saying he expects Ghostbusters to become an important brand and franchise for the company. Unless by this he means another reboot, I don't know what drugs this guy's been taking, or if he doesn't have the internet or something. But this makes little sense to me. Sure, there seems a general consensus that the film wasn't as bad as the trailers were hinting, but it still wasn't a good movie, and although it made $43 million in its opening weekend in the US, and overall will probably make a small profit. But the juice just doesn't seem worth the squeeze to me. Some things are best left dead and not reanimating. Let this ghost of a good film rest in peace, at least for a few more years until a reboot worthy of the original is on the cards. Now on to the exclusively gaming news. Shuhei Yoshida, the president of Worldwide Studios at Sony, essentially the figurehead for PlayStation, had his Twitter hacked by a group calling themselves Our Mind, who also claimed to be behind the recent Pokemon Go outage and claimed to be a security group, not a hacking group, that said they will be willing to relinquish control of his account when Shuhei contacts them. Whether he did this or not, I don't know, but he has since reclaimed control of his account, albeit whilst wiping some proverbial egg off his face. Not a great look for Sony as a whole after having major security issues not that long ago, and although entirely unrelated, you'd think Sony would have a team keeping an eye on such a high profile figure in terms of security. according to Ubisoft CEO, Mr. Yves' unpronounceable name Guillemot, the Nintendo NX is shaping up nicely. Presumably thanks to knowledge gained from messing around with dev kits, saying that from their vantage point as a company, the NX is looking great and furthermore has potential to bring in casual players. Which for me throws up warning signs. Sure, they've had success at bringing in massive casual audiences, both with the original Wii and now with Pokemon Go, but these are exceptions to the rule and not where they should be setting their priorities. First, they should look out for the hardcore Nintendo faithful who've kept them going. After that, the core gaming audience, and only then look at snaring a more casual gaming audience. As not only are you more likely to have a flop on your hands like the Wii U if you target the reverse, but on top of that, your console will have a terrible attach rate as casual gamers don't buy games unless it's Wii Sports or has Pokemon in the title. Please Nintendo, don't walk into another Wii U. Now a couple of release dates. Telltale's new Batman game, which looks like a bunch of fun if you're into that sort of game, has a release date of 2nd of August. And that not so exclusive game Rise of the Tomb Raider is making its way to PS4 on October the 11th, in the guise of a special edition bundled with all the DLC and an all new VR chapter to boot. Speaking of games making their way to the PS4, although this one has been a long while coming. The original Dead Rising looks to be finally making its way to the PlayStation platform. There's no official word yet, but trophies for the game have appeared on the PlayStation Network, and that doesn't usually happen unless a game is already pretty far into development. Personally, if I was to hazard a guess, I'd say a Dead Rising collection timed for release just prior to the Xbox timed exclusive of Dead Rising 4 would be the most likely scenario. The first episode of Square Enix's critically acclaimed episodic game, Life is Strange, is now available for free and, as far as I understand it, permanently and on all platforms. Which personally I think is a great idea, not just for Life is Strange but for all episodic games, as it gets people through the door as it were, and is much more likely to garner a larger install base if they enjoy the taste of the game they've been given. Just after No Man's Sky wraps up its ridiculous legal dispute with the broadcasting company Sky over its name, another douchebag comes crawling out of the woodwork at the last minute and claims to have a patent for the mathematical algorithm that helped make the game's procedurally generated universe. Who knew not only can you own words like Sky, but now you can also own math? What a crazy world we live in. Luckily, this seems to be a much more cordial dispute than the previous one with Sky, but it does strike me as odd to have only just now decided Hello Games needs to talk to them, just prior to the release of the game, when No Man's Sky has been all over mainstream media for the past couple of years. Perhaps it could be an attempt at a cash grab, who knows. But I do know this, if it delays No Man's Sky, GenieCap, the owners of the patent, can expect death threats, DDoS attacks and much more. Like I said, it's a crazy world we live in. It seems to be that time again for yet another Red Dead Redemption 2 rumour, after publisher Take-Two have confirmed they'll be at Gamescom with a very big presence. This outright conjecture bleeds into the rumour that the third Red Dead game wasn't at Sony's E3 press conference due to the trailer having a shootout in a bar and it being in bad taste to showcase this trailer just after the mass shooting at a club in Orlando. Like I said, I'd take all this chatter with a pinch of salt, while simultaneously keeping one beady little eye over what's going down at Gamescom. Nvidia announces its new variant of its Titan X graphics card, and from what we can tell, this thing is a monster, coming in at around 11 teraflops of performance. To put this into perspective, Xbox's upcoming Project Scorpio system is supposed to be looking to hit around 6 teraflops. So the new Titan X will have almost double the performance of the significantly powerful Project Scorpio. That said, not only does it also have monster performance, it also has a monster price tag of $1,200, which will probably be more than twice as much as the Scorpio, and that's for just the graphics card alone, as you've still got to build a PC around this card that won't bottleneck the Titan X, which is no cheap feat. So realistically, no one's going to buy this card aside from people with more money than sense and companies that legitimately need that sort of power. For everyone else that wants cutting edge performance, I'd wait to see what the price tag of the 1080 Ti will be. And finally, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is bringing out all the stops to get you to change your mind about this game and part with your hard-earned cash. As not only is it bundling in a remaster of Modern Warfare 1 and creating a new Zombies game, it's also throwing out a pre-order bonus reskin of the beloved map from Modern Warfare 2, Terminal. Whether this will be enough, I don't know. I think the whole disliking the trailer malarkey is a little disingenuous of some people. Sure, I think a lot of people wanted Call of Duty to go back in time like Battlefield did, but I'd be surprised if a lot of people who disliked the trailer don't end up buying the game anyway for one reason or another. Personally, there's not been anything that's blown me away and brought me back into the fold. Sure, I'd like to play some Modern Warfare 1 again, but it's not something I can't wait for a cheap deal on. And in terms of zombies, I'm not even that blown away by Treyarch at the moment. The last map was fun and a step in the right direction, but another Exo Zombies rip-off type game doesn't excite me in the slightest. I think the next COD game I'll probably get is Black Ops 3 again on the PC, so I can play some custom zombies. Unless the new Zombies mode does something truly special, I'll hold off on Infinite Warfare and see how things play out. So, that was my recap of the week's gaming news or points of interest. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I'll miss each week, so feel free to post anything you're into that I missed in the comments section for discussion. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe for more BS of a similar nature. Thank you and goodbye.